Championship of 1996 that's at the forefront of Terry Venable's mind as he makes 6 changes from the team that beat Japan. There's a completely fresh back four in which number 21 Colin Cooper of Nottingham Forest makes his international debut. John Barnes returns for his 78th cap, and Teddy Sheringham is in the starting lineup looking for his first international goal. So what do you make of the latest Venable's cocktail, Trevor?
Well, I'm sure he's hoping it's going to be a significant improvement to the performance that they showed against Japan. And of course, with Brazil lurking at the weekend, it's important that that new back four looks impressive. And Colin Cooper's got a great chance to leapfrog over John Scholes and David Unsworth and sort of get that position alongside Gary Pallister for the game against Brazil.
Sweden have also made changes after their defeat by Brazil, and striker Martin Dahlin has gone back to Germany for a club match. But it's an historic night for 35-year-old goalkeeper Thomas Ravelli, who wins his 126th cap, passing the goalkeeping record of our own Peter Shilton. Hopefully there'll be plenty of action at his end tonight, but what about this Sweden team? Sweden playing from right to left, yellow shirts, blue shorts, and number 20 there straight away is Erlingmark, playing in midfield. John Barnes is doing that for England. This is Sheringham. And an early ball in for Alan Shearer, and he's got ahead of the defender. Milled. Jonas Tern, by the way, is out injured for Sweden, but this is Henrik Larsson. Oh, it's a good chance here for Gudmundsson. And again over his head the second time, and back into... Oh, it's there! It's gone straight in from the player out here on the left. And Sweden have taken the lead. Håkan Mild. Well, extraordinary. Tim Flowers made the save. And I think you'll see that Håkan Mild is possibly trying to get it back into Gudmundsson, but here's the first attempt from Gudmundsson, which Flowers saves. It comes back over the Swedish player's head, and Håkan Mild just drives it through the crowd. I don't think the other player touched it. They're appealing for offside there as well, Trevor.
No, I don't think. This is the first shot. Again, a lot of space. That's the second time Gudmundsson has been in that space. And when it comes in from Mild, look, he tries to hook it, doesn't get a touch, but it distracts Flowers.
Absolutely. It's Håkan Mild's goal, and Sweden lead 1-0. And now Teddy Sheringham with room in which to manoeuvre. Alan Shearer's to his right. The others are coming from behind now, 3 of them in fact. One is Beardsley. This is Lasso. Now Beardsley. Lasso forces the corner.
I think there was one of the problems of our particular English game. In that situation on the breakaway, I think definitely the Brazilians and a number of international players would have gone one against one and gone against their marker.
And Shearer's there!
That's a good header, just needed to be 3 or 4 yards further out. Got above his marker, and as you see, it was dropping. Ravelli there covering it, but just too...
David Platt running on well from midfield. That's more like it.
Got to get midfield players running beyond the front men, and David Platt is as good as anyone when he can get into that mood. This is a long ball, good play by Shearer, aware where David Platt is and has to jump very well, chests it down, just can't keep it down as it pops up.
Shearer was coming in, cleared by Gudmundsson, who takes a crack on the leg after a challenge by Barton. In it goes from Sheringham towards Shearer. Anderton backing up in a good position here for England. And he doesn't quite find David Platt. And there, and he came free, Teddy Sheringham. Nobody with him, but he put it wide.
Well, the grim expression says it all. Look at him coming in the far post there. He's only got to knock it back across the goal, but he tries to just flick it. Flicks it beyond the far post. And when you think of all the good strikers we have, surely there must be a pair in there somewhere.
Here's Sundgren for Sweden. Oh, and the rebound's in! It looks like Mild again. And England are 2 down. Well, that's extraordinary. Tim Flowers unable to hold the initial shot. And Sweden here have taken a 2-goal lead, and Håkan Mild has scored them both. There's the shot, and he's right in there to follow in the rebound.
I thought they backed up off a long way, but I mean, it is a goalkeeping mistake. It was still the sort of shot. Sunga in there, hits it, skids off. Credit to Mild, he followed up. Not many would have done, and there he is to side put it home when the mistake comes. And
a better ball than in England were in all sorts of difficulties. Which is not to say they're not anyway. This is Larsson. And they've lost the marker again. Pulls it back to Sundgren. This was the player whose shot brought the second goal. And I'm afraid you have to say at the moment England are all over the place in defence.
I suppose the question then going into the interview is, what is the England coach going to do to the balance of the side? Is he going to introduce McManaman, who probably for me would be the first name to spring to mind, and even you've got Barmby and Gascoigne as the other attacking options, because it's in attack now that he's got to somehow create chances and put some in the back of the net.
This is Barnes trying to get it through to Shearer. This is Platt. England is scuttling forward here. There's 7 in attack. Barnes, 3 of them round the ball at the moment. Anderton, Lasso, Beardsley. In it comes again to Barnes, but it's oh yes, Sheringham! His first goal for England, and it was badly needed by Terry Venables and his team. Sweden going to sleep in defence here, really. John Barnes plays it against the Swedish player, and Sheringham gets ahead of Carmark, or across him really, to finish it off very neatly indeed. Steers it inside the post there of Ravelli. Came off the Swedish player definitely, didn't it?
It did, but the defender was awaited for Ravelli, such an experienced goalkeeper. Thomas Ravelli, I think, started to come, then he stopped, and I think he should have kept coming. Bjorklund sort of blocked the initial run, and Carmark was waiting for his keeper to come and collect, and while that was happening, Sheringham got that so vital goal.
Hold on though, here comes Henrik Larsson. Well, if he hadn't tried to be quite so spectacular, he could have taken that on and surely put Sweden 3-1 up. As yet by England. And in the crowd tonight, just about every chairman and chief executive of the Premier League clubs who are having an annual meeting up here in Yorkshire. They may feel they've done their bit for the England team by bringing the division down to 20 clubs. Here's Kenneth Anderson. Oh, he's in the middle again, and that's going to be 3-1 in the opening seconds of the second half. Sweden score again. Tim Flowers lobbed by Kenneth Anderson, and Terry Venables' expression says it all. What on earth was the England defence doing here, Trevor?
Well, he says, I don't believe it, and that's what he doesn't believe. Look, 2 defenders, he's in the middle of them, chests it down, delightful lob, great finish. But I mean, what on earth was the marking and the talking? I mean, it's basic elementary defending, and all the half-time team talk's just gone out the window in 30 seconds.
Anderton's made a good run. Oh, he didn't choose that option. He tried to pull it back to John Barnes. And Sweden break with Henrik Larsson. To his right, Alexandersson, it's overhit. Chance here. Good block by the defender. Closed it down. Barton. Anderson makes a good run here. Another good stretch to corner. Forward go Cooper and Pallister. Sheringham was up for that, and Kenneth Anderson only half clears it. Beardsley, wide again. Anderton. Cooper couldn't stretch quite far enough. Save Ravelli! Fine stop by the goalkeeper. Sheringham coming, but for him it would have been 3-2. And Sheringham's on the other end of this too! And this time the goalkeeper has a little bit of luck in that there was no England player coming in. He's enjoying himself here. Sheringham twice then within a matter of a minute, testing Ravelli. Here's the deep cross. This is the one where he gets the header. That's a very good save as he goes back the other way.
Well, it's the old Spurs connection there, isn't it? Anderson crossing and Sheringham heading. A bit unlucky there not to get one of those go in the net. Important period of pressure for England. They've just upped the tempo, lifted the crowd again. They desperately need to get the second goal and suddenly put Sweden under pressure.
Yes, that would really change it. The crowd are now very much behind England. It's a good ball by Beardsley. The movement has got better this last 2 or 3 minutes. Anderton. Flick on by Shearer, and it's in fact a header that goes away, and the substitute. Yes, I think you could sign Kenneth Anderson for rather less than 8 million, which is the figure now being talked about for certain players in this country. And this of Alexanderson. Oh, and Anderton, no, offside flag up. Well, England lucky. England lucky, really, that the flag went up there, because it came off an England player in the end to the Swede who struck it home. And that's a real let-off, Trevor.
Well, look, Darren Anderton touches it. All right, when it's played, it is in an offside position, so strictly speaking, you could argue the case, but...
Could have done better, and might still. Side netting. He was onside the whole time. Should really have been 4-1. Tim Flowers can just breathe a sigh of relief there, I think.
Well, it's just a comedy of errors, isn't it? There he just kicked the ground there, and then again it wasn't gathered on his left foot. A tight angle, but a sort of angle he should score from.
This is Gascoigne. Flat. Away by Sundgren. And a chance for Anderton perhaps to hook it back in. Here's Barmby. Possibilities for England here. Shearer. Oh, mistake by Ravelli, and here's Barmby. Lasso. Gascoigne bundled off it. Bit of a let off for Sweden there, but Munson again. And Mild goes in, and it's a clearing header by Cooper.
It was the left-hand side again, wasn't it? I mean, it just overhit the pass, otherwise it would have been a clear goal.
Gascoigne gets a free kick. Anderton. I was with Phil Neal yesterday, Trevor, and I was saying to him since he...
Stage in the European, so... You know, Rob Jones probably has had his injury problems. Otherwise, I think at the moment he would be the first choice.
Well, here's a free kick for England and some hope. Nick Barmby was bundled over just outside the area, and Gascoigne has put the ball down. And he's going to take it quickly here. Header! And it's in! David Platt. It's 3-2, and the England captain wants to get on with it. Gascoigne didn't hang around. That was quick thinking. Sweden was still lining up, really, and it's chipped in.
Yeah, it's David Platt. I mean, poor Markin will criticise the England defence, but this is bad by Sweden. Just goes above everyone, and David Platt just going to run away and then thinks, let's get the ball out the net.
That's his 26th goal for England. Moves him up, I think, alongside Brian Robson in the list of all-time scorers, but more important on the night, it gives England some chance at 3-2. Here's a chance perhaps for Sheringham, and Gascoigne, his first real contribution. He's in again. There's only a minute to go, but Gascoigne has suddenly given England a lift. Venables and Don Howe would be pleased with the execution of the free kick, and he found David Platt spot on. Now Sweden with Dick Liedman, Larsson. Referee from Scotland looks at his watch. We're entering time added on for stoppages here at Elland Road. Sweden 3-2.
Not sure the Scotsman would let too much extra time for England to a 3-2 down.
Well, it's a good finish of the game here. Oh, brilliant! Fantastic! Darren Anderton. Oh, yes! Explosive stuff in stoppage time. Yes, he can celebrate. That's a cracking goal. It's 3-3. Alan Shearer sets the play up. Darren Anderton, left foot, post, and in. Great shot, wasn't it?
Well, it's a stunning goal, and the half volley on the up. One of the hardest skills to perfect, and it just flies in.
There was a moment there as it hit the first post, when Anderton stood and looked, and then it hit the second post, and then he threw his arms up in the air, and this is going to end. This fluctuating international is going to end, it would seem, on a high note. Certainly the best time of the night for England, this. They've come back from 3-1 down with 2 goals in 2 minutes. And the crowd are urging them on in injury time to get a fourth. Here's Gascoigne. And Lasso. 3 coming in on the cross if he can get it over. And Sundgren is lucky to see the referee give a goal kick there. Well, we made it the 89th minute when Platt scored. It was over 90 minutes when Anderton scored. And England have come from behind to protect Terry Venables' unbeaten record. Anderton's strike, a real gem, congratulated by Hakan Mild, who got 2 himself. England 3-1 down with only a minute of normal time to go. And Terry Venables must feel there, Trevor, that somebody smiled on him.
Well, he will. He's retained that unbeaten record, but it won't camouflage a lot of the problems that came in the previous 88 minutes. England escaped. They've got the point. It now means they can actually win the Umbro Cup if they defeat Brazil on Sunday, but there's got to be a huge improvement before they meet them.